Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this impressive vid. It's titled Cardi B's husband Offset smashed Saweetie, Ari, Chrisean, and the whole industry. Oh, Diddy and GINA. Damn. I mean, I'm not surprised. Offset is trifling. So, would this be news? Not necessarily, but let's get the tea. Let's watch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the impressive channel. The rapper Offset did an interview with Joe Budden on his podcast, and he shared his thoughts on his soon-to-be ex-wife Cardi B's relationship with the NFL player Stefon Diggs. Now, Cardi and Stefon have been together, for probably close to a year now. It's even rumored that Cardi is pregnant with Stefon's child, but that's besides the point. But Offset basically downplayed Cardi's relationship with Stefon, and he said that none of his exes ever found a man better than him.
My truth, I ain't never met none that I left went up, so I don't know how to experience. Tom Timothy Jones. So like every situation I ever seen go on, it didn't work out, it's like the unseasoned version.
I mean, he's not lying in terms of she didn't get better because Stefon also ain't shit. I don't think they're talking about finances, but I don't know Stefon's finances, and I don't know Offset, so I'm not gonna pretend like I know. We don't know what these people are doing with their money and what they're investing in, so I don't know what their net worth is. But if we're talking about character, then you are correct. She did not do better at all. She just likes men who ain't shit, apparently.
I ain't never seen no upward where I'm like, damn.
Would you remarry?
No, sir.
You would never get married again?
Never.
So Offset said he's not getting married again, and he feels like Cardi...
When we talking about looks, use a goddamn lie, because Stefon looks way better than you. Fuck out of here.
He will never do better than him. And I hate to say it, but knowing what I know about Stefon, I don't think that he's really an upgrade from Offset, to be honest. But still, Offset wasn't a model husband. He was actually a bad partner. And DJ Academics actually confirmed that Offset cheated on Cardi with a lot of different women in the industry, too.
That's messy.
What Offset's trying to say, yo, I done 3,000 girls on Cardi B. Y'all are saying I am hurt because she's finally giving me 1/1,000,000th of what I put her through.
Like that's a flex.
Offset was piping out chicks that Cardi was supposed to do music with. Offset, Chrisean, Ari, Saweetie, 10 bitches from Starlets. Offset had chicks randomly just popping up to the worst. There's two more names too I don't even want to mention because Offset was out here just piping everybody out.
I'm not really surprised by these rumors because these rumors actually have been around. I have heard that Saweetie allegedly had a thing going on with Offset. Now, it hasn't been confirmed. It hasn't been denied. But I will say if it's true, it absolutely explains why Offset and Quavo fell out. Because Quavo was dating Saweetie at one point, and
if I was Saweetie and this is false, I would sue the brakes off him.
Seemed like he was really into her, but they had a very messy breakup. And he also stopped dealing with Offset, and their group, the Migos, broke up allegedly because of the tension they had over Saweetie. And I did also hear rumors about Offset allegedly messing around with Chrisean Rock and also Ari. I did videos talking about it too. So these are not new rumors, but it is interesting to see a public figure like DJ Academics who has inside information about some of the things that happen in the industry just flat out say this. And he knows of two other names that we know who could have possibly slept with Offset. And I kind of wonder if they were female rappers too. That would be very interesting too. But I mean, Offset is a dog. He really is a dog. He dogged Cardi out. And I know it had to be very embarrassing for her, especially for her to rub shoulders with some of her peers who could have very well been sleeping with her husband. Like, that is a mess. And you know what?
And she had the audacity in that song to be like, that's what my friend fucked on your nigga. Girl.
Explains why Cardi was crashing out all the time because Offset was putting her through it. He really, really was. Now, I want to talk about this Afrobeat artist named Ari Starr. Ari Starr did cause a lot of conversation after it was put out there that she signed to Roc Nation. Lord, not Roc Nation. But she did sign to them, and it's obvious that she is kind of looking for success in the States here. So she had to sign with a company that could kind of give her that access to some of the resources that are here. And I think
they would have, at least gave her a hairstylist because she said she got to do her own hair or whatever the hell. So, yeah, maybe they should have got with Tyler.
Ira is a talented artist. She makes good music. She actually released a new song called Hot Body. That is my song. I like that song. It's a vibe. It really is a vibe.
I like that song.
But I don't know how she's going to do on Roc Nation, to be honest. I think they signed her for a couple of reasons. I think they're looking for another Rihanna. It seems like the labels have been trying to look for another Rihanna. They've tried to do the same thing with Tyler. And I think Roc Nation is trying to do the same. They're trying to see who can be the next one to carry on Rihanna's torch. I kind of get the feeling that Rihanna is not really interested in releasing another album under Roc Nation after what happened with that whole Tidal situation where her anti-album was leaked and she ended up selling 460 copies in the first week.
Anyway, Rihanna reportedly is upset and embarrassed the way Tidal handled themselves in the release of her album Anti. Now, Anti is her most recent release, and she is one of the shareholders in Tidal. So for her to turn against Tidal is like her cutting off her own money or whatnot. Anyway, she's even throwing shade at Tidal by telling fans to buy her album Anti on iTunes instead. That's the competition. Like you don't do that. On Tidal, though, she only sold 460 copies of her album. 460. 400. To make matters worse.
Why is she trying to make it seem like it's 460? And that's the audience thing too, because they just like, oh my God, girl, 460,000. Stop playing.
Tidal, and by the way, once she put it on the other thing, the other service,
all the other platforms,
the other service, then that's when she was able to sell a whole lot more. So in other words, Tidal did nothing for her album sales. Likewise with Kanye.
Yeah, that whole Tidal situation was pretty crazy. And see, this is what Nicki Minaj was talking about. But you notice that after Rihanna's album was sabotaged and after she was snubbed at the Grammys, she hasn't released another album. And to be honest, I don't think she plans on releasing any more albums until she moves on from Roc Nation. That's what I think. But the industry has been trying to fill in that Rihanna void, so to speak. And Tyler has been a contender. And I think Roc Nation is like, well, we have an answer for Tyler. So they signed Ira. But I really don't know how they're going to handle Ira's career. Because honestly, not a lot of artists who have been on Roc Nation have been successful. A lot of them have had to leave over the years. So I don't really know what's going to come of this situation. But we shall see. We shall see. Now, moving on, I want to talk about one of Diddy's girlfriends, GINA V. GINA V has been advocating to get Diddy out of prison because she needs her bills paid, okay? Now, Diddy is currently behind bars, and he's going to face his sentencing on October 3rd. He was found guilty for 2 counts of prostitution charges, but he was able to beat the RICO charge and the sex trafficking charge. So that was a huge win for him. But still, he is looking at time in prison. And since he is a first-time offender, I think the most he would get likely is probably 5 years. But he might even get less than that. However, Diddy has been desperately trying to get out on bail even after the verdict, but the judge has denied him. He also has been trying to seek a pardon from Donald Trump, but Donald Trump doesn't seem like he's going to help Diddy out because apparently Diddy said some mean things about him. And Donald Trump is petty, so he might not let him out, which is interesting because he's considering to let Ghislaine Maxwell out, who is a sex trafficker. But that's a whole nother topic for another video. But since Diddy doesn't have favor from the president, he's very desperate. I mean, he's desperate enough to put up $50 million to try to get out on bail. He doesn't want to wait till October 3rd for his sentencing hearing. And to be honest, I think it would have been best if he actually was patient and waited until that hearing, because now that he's being so pushy about getting out, I think it's turning the judge off. And I don't think it's really making things any better for him to have one of his girlfriends, GINA, write a letter to convince the judge to get him out. GINA is saying that he made mistakes and he's past that, but she already did an interview with Tasha K and exposed Diddy. She said that he beat the baby out of her. So I don't think people are really going to believe her defending Diddy's character now. And not to mention, she was supposed to be one of the star witnesses for the prosecution team, but she went ghost on them. And after being MIA for all those months, she now is coming out and trying to clear up Diddy's name. She's basically doing anything she can do to help him so he could continue funding her lifestyle. But I don't think she's helping in the way that she thinks she's helping, because the judge can easily look at this and see it as another example of Diddy using his money to pay people to do what he wants them to do, because it does seem like he's paying GINA to do all of this. And the judge sees Diddy as a flight risk. He sees him as dangerous. He heard all the stories of him being violent. He saw the tape where he was beating down Cassie. He even heard about Diddy being involved in a DV incident with Jane Doe shortly before he was arrested. So in the judge's mind, he feels like Diddy didn't really change. And the witnesses, Cassie and Deontay Nash, wrote to the judge and begged him not to release Diddy out on bail because they feel like Diddy can pose as a risk to their lives and the other victims. So the judge is keeping all of this in mind, and he doesn't have the patience for Diddy shenanigans, which is why GINA writing a letter is so pointless. Now, GINA did go on Threads and she made several posts. She said, "Free Diddy. You sheeps act like I can't forgive a man I once loved. I'm not going to kick him while he's down because y'all want me to. B, I don't even know you. The FLOL goofies, I'ma always have his back." She also quoted a lyric from the City Girls song Act Up, which I thought was interesting because GINA was beefing with one of the City Girls named Young Miami.
She don't even know what that means. This is how stupid she is. Because what is the relevance? Why would you post that? I see she's trying to be petty, but the comment don't even make sense. Cause in that case, you're saying you don't give a fuck about a nigga, so you don't give a fuck about Diddy. If we're keeping this all in context, so what? That don't make no sense. She's just slow.
They both were fighting over Diddy. And I do think GINA was jealous of the attention that Diddy was giving her. So I do think it's very interesting that she's now quoting Young Miami's song. Maybe she's trying to throw subs at Young Miami and she's trying to say, I'm a real one. She's trying to prove to Diddy that she's realer than his other girls and she's standing by her man. But we know the real reason why GINA is doing all of this is because she needs her bills paid. She needs money. But anyway, tell me what you all think.
That is just embarrassing, but okay, girl, sure. Cardi B, I'm glad she has moved on from this hot mess of a man that she was with. That's just disgusting for him to be dealing with all of these women. Even if he didn't sleep with every last one of the celebrities that was named, I'm sure he slept with some of them. So very sick situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.